Welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. We're back with more A Link to the Past No Major Glitches League. This race is between Concision and Spaces with Rob on comms, so good luck everyone.
Yeah, hello everyone. Here we go again. Seems to be becoming my my usual slot. Yes, this is like yesterday's race that I commentated. This is in the Master Sword bracket, the third tier of league, but it's a super deep league this season. Lots of good players all the way down. And yeah, anyone who watched the race I commentated yesterday will maybe remember my comment about a bunch of players that I still consider to be sort of newbies who are in danger of cutting me sometime soon, and we've certainly got two of those players today. Two players who are still comparatively new. They've been running the game a little while now, and driving those times down. We've got a Concision with a personal best of a 128.02, and Spaces with a pretty recent PB of 127.38. Yeah, also two pretty good friends, these two. So this should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to the interview after the race almost as much as the race itself. So we're underway here. Got to mash through some text to start with, then we can get on with the business of actually playing the video game. Both PBs were set yesterday, so says chat. Alright. So two players in pretty good form at the moment, then it would seem. Alright, so anyway, we're into escape here. Not the most complicated of splits. We're not expecting too much divergence here, but still gotta execute the rooms. See what they're going to go for here in this keyguard room. It's like up slashes for both. It always feels like the first room in the game that's actually like got a proper speedrun strat. You know, up until then everything looks like completely normal. All the things you do in that room are maybe not things a casual player would figure out for themselves. Right, pretty much frame for frame. Coming out of the boomerang room there. Coming into the ball and chain. This is a room that has potential for a little bit of time loss, at least as far as escape goes. Looks like we're going to see a couple of different strats here. We're going to see the pot and then the poke spin from Concision and the 8 slash from Spaces. Also seeing a different order of talking to Zelda and opening the chest for the lamp. Yeah, Concision also had the guard go to the right, so had to boom it on the way in and out. Slightly unfortunate. So yeah, looks like Spaces has taken an incredibly narrow lead of maybe a second. See if Concision can overturn this one. Concision also having a slightly worse corridor there. Most of what's going on in Escape here is some little subtleties of movement, things like pumping and whatnot, and then also some small enemy RNG, like we saw that left hallway you have to go through a couple of times, and you can lose frames here and there to different patterns, and reacting to the RNG of the enemies is mostly what we're going to be doing in the back of Escape here, with the key rat room being the biggest of them. Concision just sneaking through that door before the snake caught up. Right, so the key rat room's coming up next. Let's see how cooperative it's going to be this time. Ooh, looks like we've got a bit of a northwest from spaces. Concision was able to make up a little bit of ground. It looks like we're pretty much tied again. Oh, Space has got the extra text box. Disaster. Alright, so Concision's gonna leave Escape maybe half a second faster. An interesting question posed in chat there. By Yoho. I'm gonna arbitrarily assign Concision the role of Liverpool here. Alright, anyway, while I was being distracted with football talk, it would appear that both of the runners grabbed the sank cart on the way out here. And both getting slightly held up by Octoroks, but nothing too serious. Spaces did take a hit there. Concision's the first into Eastern Palace. The first true dungeon of the run here. Most importantly, this is the gatekeeper for the boots. Then we can really start zooming. Stalfo spawn room there from Concision, and booms the magic. So we can kill those Stalfos there before they spawn in, and not only is it quick, it also means that a couple of other Stalfos that should spawn in that room don't. Concision going for the slash there. Spaces 2 trying to farm the blue rupee, and they both got it. Yeah, so once you've gotten 5 rupees under your belt, you can then reliably get the rest you need, either from Sahasrara or from the tree rupees, which is what I would expect these two to be doing. Space is getting a slightly worse damage boost, unfortunately. Being sent south. Also on 1 heart less here. Shouldn't be too bad. Enemies in Eastern aren't that dangerous, but a couple of hits could do it. He's having to backtrack for those arrows, but manages to do so without being hit by an anti-fairy. Concision getting slightly awkward cannonballs. Much nicer path there from spaces. Alright, Concision gets a 20 drop as well, so it's a nice setup. Ooh, spaces having a little bit more trouble there with the Igors here. Needs to be quite careful now. Yeah, going to grab a safety heart as well. Understandable. So Concision first into the Armos fight here. Can he get the quick kill? Certainly can. Looks a little slow. Oh, spaces I think is still going to get it. Yeah. I thought the one in the middle there wasn't going to die, but it did. Thought it might have escaped. So Concision building a slight lead here. Looks like 7 seconds ahead coming out of Eastern Palace, which is both a fairly big lead for the stage of the race, but also not a very big lead at all in the context of the whole race. There'll be far more opportunities to lose and gain much more time than that in the future. Alright, Space is stepping to the right here in Sahasrara's room, so I'm assuming that means Sahasrara rupees are afoot. So yeah, 3 chests in the back of Sahasrara's house here. Contain 100 rupees and some bombs, so those extra bombs are kind of nice. They certainly help for the run. Once you're going in there, it is faster to pick them up than to not. But Concision will be doing a strategy involving tree pulling later to get those rupees slightly faster. Does mean until that point, which is just after Tower of Hera, it will appear that Concision is slightly further ahead than he actually is. Spaces has already invested some time collecting rupees. Anyway, Concision is the first one to grab the next item that we're looking for here, the book, to allow us to enter Desert Palace. So Concision's going to be the first into Desert Palace here. Just got to read this tablet. The boss here in Desert Palace is certainly one of the first things in the run that can lead to notable differences in times. You can definitely have a fight that goes a couple cycles longer than you would like, and that can result in some swings. So big key there for Concision. Spaces coming up to the same room here. Okay, it's a clean path through the cannonballs in both directions. So there's the glove. It's our dungeon item here. It's going to be a very useful one too. We immediately need it to get to the back of desert to fight the boss, but we need it to climb Death Mountain as well, which is where our next dungeon is. See if they're going to go for the spin speed here. No, okay. Definitely a perfectly acceptable race safe strat to not go for the spin speed into the back of desert. It doesn't save too much time. I think it's almost certainly less than a second, and if you screw it up, you can have to do a second trip through the front of desert, and no one wants to see that. See if Concision handles his torch as well. Alright. Taking a slightly safe path. Makes sense. It's like my least favourite room in desert. The torches room there. I hate it. The Igor always gets you or forces you to go miles out of your way. Alright, so Concision the first to fight land rollers here. It's like the first worm there blocking for the second one. So slightly awkward RNG there. Alright, one worm down. Oh, the other one was spawning underneath it. But okay, that's two down. Couldn't quite finish it off there. Space is getting hit at the start of the fight. That's often annoying. Means you don't tend to get that many hits in the first cycle. Alright, there, Concision cleaned it up. A little bit of a slower fight than he would have liked. Space is doing a decent job of recovering from that opening, but that was a really rough cycle. A couple of short hops there, and couldn't finish it off there. Okay, so Concision's out of the dungeon. Spaces has got the last worm killed. So Concision on the path here to the Tower of Hera. To start with, we get to do a little fake flipper trick here. Kind of funny how not that powerful fake flippers is in NMG. It feels like it could be a trick that does tons of stuff, but it turns out that because we need the flippers for Swamp anyway, it's optimal to get them before Ice Palace as well, so we can't really sequence break anything. So all we do is fake flipper here as a way of saving a few seconds on overworld movement. Both of them getting pretty awkward RNG from the pickle having to walk around. Looks like Concision went for the free menu to boomerang at the end of the Lammo fight, whereas Spaces didn't. It's another marginal thing. Some people like having access to the boomerang for the beginning of the Hera split here. See how the Dead Rock's going to behave themselves. Concision being bopped by one boulder, but otherwise a decent mountain there. Spaces manages to not get blocked by that dead rock that was in the path. Alright, so Concision's the first one into Hera. Looks like Spaces has still got full health approaching the dungeon though, so that's pretty nice. It's definitely a sign of a good mountain. So Concision into the tile room here. No boomerang strats here. You can boomerang dash to hit that switch and save yourself a little bit of time, but if you go wrong, you can lose some time. And honestly, the biggest advantage of doing it is that you just get to have a little break, stretch out a little bit in this room, as opposed to having to actually pay attention the whole time. Yeah, both of them going for the same strat here of kind of burying themselves in that gap between those two right-hand pots. Throwing a pot at a tile towards the end. Ooh. Unfortunate from Concision there to throw the pot and hit the switch, but at least gets to make up a little bit for the time lost with some nice drops. Those arrows are very welcome. See if Space's beetles can go any better. Yeah, it's a much more textbook room. So Concision grabbing that extra heart there as well, so going to be back at full health here before this bomb jump. Oh, unfortunate. Alright, let's see if Spaces can get this first try. Yeah, going for the spin setup there. If you release a spin close to the edge of the hole, you can put yourself perfectly on the end pixel. Alright, Concision remembering to collect the bomb again. Alright, so Space's first one into the Moldon fight. Another well-beloved boss. Alright, Concision appears to have the setup right this time and gets the Moon Pearl, second try. And Moldon dead. So Spaces ahead by approximately one Moldon fight, though I guess I should wait and see if Concision beats it without falling before I say that. The last hit coming up here. Yep. Right, so Spaces, having already collected the rupees, is going to be able to skip the tree here. Alright, we're going to see the tree rupees from Concision, so if you kill at least 4 enemies and then pull certain trees, you get 4 blue rupees. If you do that without taking any damage, you get red rupees instead. So now we're going to be, hopefully, killing 4 enemies without taking any damage in the Lost Woods, and we can grab some more rupees on the way out, and that'll give us what we need to enter Palace of Darkness. There's a couple possible backups. Most people, you can do another set of kills on the way to Hyrule Castle, and you can pull another tree, like outside the entrance to Hyrule Castle. You also have the option of just mirroring and getting Sahasrara rupees on the way to Palace of Darkness. That's the completely foolproof backup. Ooh, yeah, space is a bit too high there. I managed to realise before bonking at least. Yeah, so the tree just on the right there that you can just kind of half see as Spaces enters the castle is pullable. So that's the backup tree. Concision grabbing the mushroom there, I didn't actually notice if Spaces grabbed it or not. But it's a pretty good safety for racers, and doesn't waste too much time to grab it, and then if you have it, you can do fake powder. Most notably before the Vitreous fight and at the top of Ganon's Tower. Space is going about his business pretty nicely so far in Aghanim's Tower. It's a pretty technical dungeon. Concision getting clipped by a guard there, it's not going to have beams. Looks like Spaces is not going to do the beam strat in the room where you want beams anyway, so you can save a little bit of time in this room as well by beaming the thing. Alright, Spaces getting the worst guard RNG. Alright, this is unfortunate. First genuinely bad room of Spaces Aghanim's Tower, really. See if Concision can capitalize here and make up a little bit of time. One advantage of not being at full health is you get the easy key dash in that room there. Ooh, unfortunately that guard kind of getting away from Concision there. the handling circle of pots much better. Alright, so one advantage of the runners being a little bit separated here is that hopefully I get to pay full attention to both Aghanim fights. So here's our biggest RNG segment of the run. Each blue ball, as we call them, these bad shots you can't deflect from Aghanim, wastes about 6 seconds, plus every so often you get extra lightning cycles as a result of them as well, which wastes 6 more. So there's 2 balls in the first set from spaces. One thing you do get to control in the Aghanim fight is you can try and position yourself to knock Aghanim as close to the middle of the room as you can, to reduce the average warp time. Alright, looks like they're both racking up the score here, Concision getting 2 blue balls at the first 2 possible opportunities, spaces on 4 and counting. Alright, looks like it is a 4 blue ball fight from spaces. Ooh, there's a third for Concision. Alright, getting 2 there would have been a nice little time save, as it stands. Going to be a 3 blue ball fight here. It's going to save 6 seconds then on spaces, closing the gap slightly. So spaces is going to be the first one on the way here to Palace of Darkness, our first Dark World dungeon. Alright, chat, who's monitoring Kiki Hops? Alright, so Palace of Darkness here. So at the beginning of Palace of Darkness, what we're going to be doing is basically coming in, grabbing some kind of objective, and then mirroring back to the start. So we get that shooter key first. Next we're going to get the key from the Stalfos basement. Then it'll be the big key, then it'll be the hammer. And then once we get about halfway through Palace of Darkness, things start to get a bit more difficult. From Hammer Jump onwards, there's some pretty tough stuff in this dungeon. So spaces are going to be coming up on Hammer Jump first here. The biggest trick in the NMG speedrun, bar none, saves an absolute ton of time and is a double pixel perfect bomb jump here. Gotta place the bomb on a specific pixel, move Link to a specific pixel, and there it was, really nicely executed. You're doing that all under time pressure from the collapsing bridge as well. Yeah, Space is handling it real well. Alright, now it's Concision's turn. An extra menu there to position the bomb. A couple extra to position Link. Pretty solid. Right, Space is coming into the rooms in the back here, starting with Mimics here. Well done, and gets an arrow drop there. Yeah, so the thing about Hammer Jump as a no major glitches glitch is that you've got to bear in mind that when it was discovered, there were like 3 known glitches or something. Like, there was like exploration glitch and the super broken stuff, and then some very minor stuff, and you know, Hammer Jump just felt a lot more like that than the major stuff at that point. But yeah, now that we've got 3 classifications, like with restricted major glitches, I think if Hammer Jump was discovered today, it almost certainly would be RMG, not NMG. But that's fine. I think it enhances the run to have it in. Like, it's replacing a bunch of very boring movement. Alright, so Helmasaur down on Space's side. Concision taking a couple of hits to Helmasaur, but still has enough health there. I feel like until you're in one-hit KO mode, you don't feel that much pressure in the Helmasaur fight, you know. As long as you've still got a hit worth of leeway, you're not going to get too scared. So the race two are still relatively close. There's you know, the 2 of them are in the same crystal cutscene at the moment. Spaces still has a little bit of a lead. Ooh, concision in the text there. Ooh, just in the text. It's not often you see in the text in Path of Darkness. It's usually a Swamp Palace thing. So looking at their splits here, I can see this like just under 30 seconds is the advantage for Spaces right now. Concision getting wrecked by the enemies already. The enemies on the overworld in this segment hit super hard. Oh, okay. I was terrified of the murder dactyl there. I think I would have played it safer having already taken damage, but Concision clearly knew what he was doing. Alright, huge one dig from Spaces. It's a little known secret, but it turns out the flute is actually in the same spot every time. So Spaces has an active flute now, which we'll be making use of a lot later for faster overworld movement, but for now we're going to be taking care of the dungeons in the area we're already at, starting with Thieves Town. Ooh, concision with the apple bonk there, nice. No idea why there are apples in that tree, like, as opposed to just normal hearts. The game invented the concept of apples specifically to put them there to heal you. Alright, so Spaces has the big key in Thieves Town as Concision enters. So we're going to see Spaces' attempts at the more interesting rooms in the back of Thieves first. Concision getting hit by the Zazak, and I think might have got bunny beamed too. Yeah, unfortunate. Oh, looks like Spaces hit the pixel, but then the enemies didn't cooperate. See if Concision can nail the Hellway here. Ooh, okay. Looks like the enemies wouldn't have been in the way anyway, but he did overshoot the pixel by 1. I mean by 4, by 1 frame of dash. Alright, to basement time for Spaces. Gonna walk through the cells. Can save some marginal time by dashing between them, but you can also bonk or kind of mess up opening the doors. Alright, so Spaces has the Titan's Mitt. It's going to be a helpful item, well, initially as soon as we finish Thieves Town, by allowing us to rescue the Smith to get our Tempered Sword. It's going to be our weapon of choice for boss fights for the remainder of the game. Alright, let's see if Blind is a scripted fight today. Yeah, very solid blind fight from Spaces there. Yeah, so so what we mean by blind is a scripted fight is that blind's movement is always exactly the same as long as you you hit it on the same frames. So the way we do it, we hold the sword out and try and get hits on blind on the first possible frame, and that will lead to the same movement patterns every time. Yeah, it looks like almost exactly the same spot that blind is in there for Concision's kill as for Spaces. But yeah, it looks like the gap has gotten slightly wider this split, as Spaces is now out into the next split, so that's most of the crystal cutscene between them now. Though Thieves' Town is one of the shorter crystal cutscenes, so probably like mid-30s of seconds between them now. Ooh, that actually looks like that was a gold Thieves' Town from Spaces, so no wonder he's opened up a slightly bigger lead. It's like about 40 seconds between them. So beginning of the Skullwood split here, got a bit of collecting to do. We'll be getting 2 300 rupee chests either side of the Tempered Sword. And yeah, the Tempered Sword is, I think, just about the only item that we get in the NMG run that isn't hard required to beat the game. I guess the Boomerang is also that. But yeah, it saves us time because we get to kill bosses faster. Yeah, Spaces being a bit wary of the fence dash there and bailing, I think was probably a smart move, although it is also the coward's move. Alright, Tempered Sword for Concision there, as Spaces about to enter Skullwoods. Ooh, the menu's a Boomerang. Alright. But then gets... Oh, okay, no, fine. Oh, he's still getting trolled. Even with the Boomerang. He got the good RNG and didn't need the Boomerang, then made a slight movement error and had to use it. And then the other mummy ended up in an awkward spot. Definitely a rough room, that one. I think Concision's, yeah, pulled that statue a bit too far, has to adjust it. That should be fine. Alright, meanwhile Spaces has collected the fire rod. Yeah, the Boomerang does stun the mummies. Obviously costs you an extra menu to use it, so it's not ideal, but if you're having trouble in the room, it's definitely a fine strat. Spaces gets through torches fine. Gets the hits on the mummy into the spike. So here comes Mothula. The thing about the Mothula fight is that you want it to end as soon as possible. The fight just gets harder the longer it goes. I think he got the double hit to open up there. Yeah, Moth then just chilling out on the spikes, but alright. Does get it killed. So if you hit Mothula into the spikes, it will just cancel out the damage. Ooh, Concision not getting the key first try, and then having to kind of be given the run around by the enemies. Killed the mini Helmer, but luckily didn't get a drop, because that can mess us up for Turtle Rock later. Then waits to bait the hand before falling into the hole. I think that was the double hit as well. Ooh, Moth's come down a bit. This could be a good fight. Yeah. Very nearly the 0 spike. So we can unfortunately only give it a 9 out of 10 because one spike did move slightly, but very good fight. So keeping up the about 1 crystal cutscene between the two runners. Time difference. But we now head into one of the scariest splits, Ice Palace. Space is coming up on Catfish here. We'll see if he goes for Quick Fish or not. Looks like, ooh, maybe a menu to, yeah, try and set it up there. Interesting. I hadn't seen that menu strat before. Looks like Concision is still on the flute as well at the moment, so maybe he does the same thing. Like normally, if you weren't using the menu there, you would have used it before now. Often to try and set up the quick warp on the bridge. Alright, Concision just going for it during the bonk, so no value to be gained from that menu. This run is going to be crossing paths here in Zora's Domain. One of the longest screens in this run. Right, spaces. Oh, that is unfortunate. Going the long way around to avoid one Zora and then getting the other one spawning in an awkward spot. It's a shame, because we really would like to enter Ice Pass with full health. Beams can be useful in a couple of spots early on. This room Space is entering now in particular might be fine. Okay, but if that jelly sparks, then you can save time by beaming it. But I guess you can always save time by beaming it, but you don't lose that much time to not having beams if it doesn't spark. Alright, Concision also going the long way around to avoid the Zora, also getting fireballed. Oh, no. Alright, so nobody gets to have beams for the start of Ice. Concision, I assume trying to find a heart under that bush. And got the spark. And then the 2 jellies. Oh, okay, they got out of the way in the end. Alright, Spaces doing the bombable floor here. There's another fairly technical room. Bombable floor, conveyor, and the nice pass bomb jump here is a nice little challenge in the first half of Ice Palace. It's like, ooh, Space is playing it quite safe, but then does get clipped by one of the shadows, unfortunately. Alright, first try bomb jump from Spaces. It's like a good bombable floor from Concision. How was Space's Pengator lineup? Ooh, missed the bottom one. It's like Concision also just walking it out at the beginning here, gets the key. It's like no stair clip attempt from Spaces. Looks like a good setup for the Ice Pass bomb jump from Concision. Yeah. Alright, 2 very good bomb jumps. See if Concision can get this Pengator lineup first try. Ooh, yes, just enough momentum there to hit the bottom one. Alright, also no stair clip from Concision. Alright, Space's cold stair fight. This looks pretty good, yeah. Took a hit in the process, but gets a nice, clean, fast kill. That's the important part. Right, Concision gets through the ice there. Also going for the single poke strat, and yeah. Pretty comparable fight, I would say. Alright, looking at their segment timers here, looks like Spaces is going to be doing more shopping in Misery Mire than Concision is. This looks like it might be a long swamp situation from Spaces. I was assuming that neither of them adjust their strategies for the race, of course. I have seen some runners occasionally switch their shopping to match their opponent. Both of them going to be getting their 8th medallion here. We need that one to get into Misery Mire in 1 split's time. Yeah, Space is also grabbing the Ice Rod right now. We need that one to kill the boss of Turtle Rock in 2 splits time. Alright, so it looks like we're actually going to be converging pretty close on the way into Swamp Palace here. Just Spaces is essentially ahead by an Ice Rod. So both of them going for the strat where you dash down through the middle in the dam. Right, Swamp Palace time. This is one of the least scary dungeons in terms of you know, how likely you are to actually get killed by it, but there's still a lot going on in here. A lot of very technical rooms, a lot of rooms that kind of go under practiced, really. Like, there's just tons of rooms in Swamp where you can kind of squeeze out some extra frames with some extra work, but you've really got to put in the time. Ooh, Space is getting guarded at the door there by the fire snake, unfortunate. Okay, getting word from chat there that Concision's just recently taught the mentees in the mentor program, Swamp Palace, so should be pretty well versed in this dungeon right now. See if he can give us a lesson here today. This does look to be a pretty clean Swamp Palace from Concision. Yeah, Space is following along just a couple screens behind here. But again, Space has already got the Ice Rod, so does still have a lead in the race. Alright, unfortunate statue room there from Concision. Had a bonk and also got kind of trolled by the enemies. Walking straight through the restock room. Yeah, makes sense. Concision's resources look pretty strong here. Alright, looks like no attempt at the zero cycle from Concision here. Going for the nice safe one. Be a pretty fast one, bit unlucky to not hook any puffs with that shot. Also going for the just the double spin kill rather than the fire rod quick kill. I missed the start of Space's fight, so I don't know if there was an attempt at the zero cycle. Looks like Space's has lost a lot of health in this dungeon, so might pay to be pretty safe here as well. Looks like Spaces is also going to go for the 2 spins. Alright, so yeah, concision done with what was a pretty good Swamp Palace. Not too many mistakes at all. I think probably made up a few seconds on Spaces there. And yeah, both runners are now going to be heading straight to Misery Mire. Spaces has already done all his shopping. Concision will be getting the Ice Rod before Turtle Rock. Right, so both runners into Misery Mire here. It's like a nice clean RNG in the lobby there from Concision, not being bothered by the Fire Snake. Same thing for Spaces. Ooh, I thought that would be fine. It was only just a bonk. Right. Torch is lit for Concision, and then coming up on the same here for Spaces. Both of them still at full health as well. It's pretty important. Want to maintain as much health as possible in Mire because we want to take a ton of deliberate damage in the back. Right, Concision, the first one to the glitched runner's best friend there, the Cane of Samaria. Yeah, here's the first of these bits of damage boosting we do. It's like Concision, fortunately not having the perfect room there and taking a 4th heart of damage. Ideally it's just 3 in there. And we saw on Space's side how it's supposed to look. And there is a heart that both of them picked up there from the pot in the other room, so should still be going into the fight against Vitreous with more than enough health to go for the optimal strat without too much concern. But Vitreous is another one of those fights where if things start to go wrong, it can go very wrong. There's a lot of damage you can take. Alright, Spooky nailed for Concision. Okay, well, Spooky 3 not nailed, unfortunately. Spaces is through the first couple, goes below the torch and gets it. So Space is now hot on Concision's heels coming into this fight. Seconds between them, and once again to remind you, Spaces has the Ice Rod, so... Alright, nice fight on Concision's side. Looks like Spaces got a couple of awkward stray eyeballs here. But still a pretty decent fight. Concision has so many arrows. Spaces is going to need to grab some extras before the Ice Armor's fight in Ganon's Tower. I don't know if he... there's like a chest with 10 arrows in that you can get before the fight that is optimal to grab, and... yeah, but is also slightly tougher strat. I don't know if Spaces goes for that on purpose or is just going to have to go for it on account of his count here. Right, so both of them out of Misery Mire here. Concision is on the way to Ice Rods, so Spaces are going to be reclaiming that lead that we knew he had the whole time. And we can get a sense of how much that lead is pretty shortly. Ooh, going for Waffle House and kind of getting stuck inside the Dead Rock. Unfortunate. Managed to get out of it without too much problem. No Waffle House attempt from Concision. Also still getting messed up by one of the Dead Rocks though. Ooh, Spaces, okay, nice. Gets the scary RNG where the two Dead Rocks are in the way there, but does blast them out of the path. Right, so I'll do a time check here on entry to Turtle Rock. And put a precise number on this lead. Alright, so let's take about 1 hour 13 on the nose. For Space's entry time there. Yeah, like 1:13, 25, 26. So yeah, like 25 or 26 seconds between the two of them. So Concision has made up some time a little bit on the approximately 40-second lead Spaces had before the divergence. Alright, nice roller room from Spaces. Like Concision might be a little bit low here. Yeah, it doesn't even risk going for the hook to the torch the first time. Alright, Spaces gets the fairy. I've been setting that one up since Aghanim's Tower. I guess pretty kind chomps as well. See how those rooms treat Concision. Also gets the fairy drop. Looks like also gets a pretty good path through jumps. Okay. Let's see what RNG space he gets for the Poke Key. Okay, top left. Yep, gets the double spin. Top left, not particularly concerning RNG. Just want to make sure you've moved far enough away from the switch, otherwise you will hit it several times during the spin and lose quite a bit of time. It's like top right from Concision. Handles it fine. Ooh, Spaces gets the, I think, is that the worst RNG in Pokies too? Okay, and also pokes one of them. You hate to see it. Bits of Pokey flying all over the place. Alright. Gets through without too big a disaster. Does allow space, or allow Concision rather, to close the gap just a little bit more. Pretty decent RNG. Ooh, slight mishap from Spaces here in this this room as well. Again, decent backup. Alright, they were just briefly in the same room there though, so the gap has been closed pretty effectively by Concision. And getting to that room with beams as well means Concision can go for the fastest strats. Alright, this should be a pretty good conclusion. Ooh, okay, Spaces scared me by cancelling that dash so high that I thought he was going to get shot by the other eyeball. Okay. And then gets shot by that one. Got to be a little bit careful in the back here. It's like Concision also playing a little bit carefully on the bridge there. And also getting shot. Okay, well. At least he had more health going in. Right, so Spaces going for the front door fight here. Oh, needs to be a little bit careful here. Both in terms of magic management and in terms of not getting killed. Concision going for back door. Oh, there it is. You hate to see it. Yeah, so unfortunately Spaces there, taking one of Trinex's 3 necks to the face. Concision seems to be getting through this fight. Yeah, nicely done. Alright, so the tables have turned. Concision now has a pretty substantial lead. Used to see a solid Gans tower, just, you know, no major mishaps to bring it home. So apparently I'm just cursed to only commentate on races that are very close until being decided by a death towards the end of Turtle Rock. Anyway, let's not speak too soon. There is still a Gans Tower to do. Things can certainly go wrong in that dungeon. I think the most punishing boss death in an MG is probably Cold Stare, just because you then have no magic. Most of the time, people will just run away from Ice Palace and go do Swamp instead after dying to Cold Stare. And then come back after the refill from beating Swamp. But yeah, Triax is pretty bad. The walk back to Helmasaur is actually pretty slow as well. I guess you could also make a case for Blind, because if you die to Blind, you then don't get to do the script, and so the fight might take infinitely long. Alright, anyway, Concision making his way through the basement here in Ganon's tower. Seemingly no major disasters just yet. Gonna go for this chest anyway, even though he already had sufficient arrows. That could mean a skip of the arrows after Armo's here as well. Alright, so Spaces has successfully killed Trinex at the second attempt. He's going to be coming into GT himself soon. Oh, I missed this at the time, looking at Spaces splits. It looks like he also got a Maya Gold to go with the Thieves Gold from earlier in the run. So even if Spaces isn't to win this one, he gets to come away with some sort of reward in the form of a couple of gold splits. Alright, Concision just going for the walk through Ganon Ball Z, and why not? Coming into the gauntlet here, so called, because there's 5 rooms in a row where you've got to kill the enemies to progress, and they're some kind of tough ones, as we're demonstrating here in Gauntlet 2. Also getting the run around a little bit. Oh, then it went through the spikes. What a troll. Alright. Let's hope to see some nice RNG here in Gauntlet 4 and 5 to make up for it. Okay. And then getting Beammost as well. So pretty rough Gauntlet there from Concision, unfortunately. Also missing out on the 1 cycle ammo 2. Gets a nice quick second cycle kill. Oh, it looks like Space has also found some extra arrows somewhere that I didn't notice. Because he's also grabbed that chest and is dropping in at 30. So Concision coming up on the top of the tower here as Spaces begins to climb. going for the fast fire rod shot there and getting blocked by the spark. Looks like Concision is not going to be putting that mushroom to use this run. Alright, nice use of the hookshot invincibility frames there to get a good kill on Molum 2. See if Space's Gauntlet's any kinder than Concision's was. G2 a little smoother. And G3 much more cooperative RNG. Oh no, going for the dash rather than the arrow and being punished by the bad RNG in Gauntlet 4. Alright. Better G5 though, although I say that. And the shooter is doing some work. Alright. Yeah, as Doomtap points out, he did just bonk on a spike. I assume... Can you bonk the spikes in the same way that you can bonk on bushes? Like if you hit them at exactly the right spot? Unclear. Anyway, Aghanim 2 dead for Concision. Not the cleanest of Ganon's towers, but, you know, it was the Ganon's tower that he needed. Just, you know, make sure you get through it alive without major time loss. Alright, so just gotta execute the Ganon fight here. Going for the hook strats here. Okay. Hooking back and forth between the two torches. Health is a bit of a concern. I don't think he got the one-on-one. No. Gonna need a couple extra hits to finish it up. Oh, there's the bat. Okay. Unfortunate. At least if you're going to die to Ganon, it's best to do it early in the fight before you've started consuming magic. The best way to avoid the Ganon Infinite. Space is going for a Hava here. Are we gaming? We sure are. Alright, Concision there actually being placed against the bottom wall. Which means you won't hook to the torch, and then does, yeah, get the one-on-one at the second time of asking. So into the final phase here, this should be pretty straightforward from here on in. Make sure you hit torch glitch, it's about all that matters for now. Space is seeming to have a pretty rough time with Aghanim 2 here. Like Concision, yeah, getting to just stand by the torch, or even getting the immediate post-torch glitch spin in. So straight into triples here. Alright, Space is still fighting Aghanim 2. I've been paying more attention to Concision's Ganon fight, but I think there were a number of cycles involved there, unfortunately. Concision just playing it nice and safe here. There we go. Pig exploding. Alright, get your GGs in chat. Concision's going to be coming across this bridge. Defeating Spaces here in week 1 of this season of NMG League with a time of 1:29:52. just snuck in under the wire there for the sub 90. Alright, Spaces gets the 1-on-1. And also hits the torch glitch. Looks like I am joined by our victor today, Concision. How's it going?
Oh, hello. Well, if I could have that gauntlet and that Aga 2 back, it would be going pretty good, but I'm just happy to win, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, until like the gauntlet there, I think your late game was going pretty well. Like you'd certainly like saved quite a bit of time, even even before the death that kind of secured the race. I am you were joined by our coming back, Concision. How's it going?
Yes, the Dark World was quite good from really top of the pyramid to end of Turtle Rock. I think I saved 23, 24 seconds on PB, so that's pretty good.
Right.
But yeah, Gauntlet was very shaky. Oh yeah, GG to Spaces for sure.
Yeah, it's like Spaces has also gotten Ganon killed. Going to be coming in here just about a minute and a half or so behind, and is also joining us here. GG Spaces.
Thank you so much. GG.
GG Spaces.
GG Concision. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a
different
way for it to go, but it happens.
So where did you lose all your time?
I died to Trinex because I got hit by a laser and laser skip. I was just a little bit slow, and when I tried to adjust up, the laser had already hit me in the back.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I didn't watch the restream. So I guess did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I fell in the Hera bomb jump, and so was probably playing from behind until then.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe Rob will tell us.
So Spaces was about 40 seconds ahead, I think, when you diverged with your shopping. Then it was about 25 or so seconds when you reconverged, so you'd pulled a little bit of time back, and then like you closed the gap a little bit more and were like a room or two behind before the death.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
It was a good race.
It was. I had a good time. We should do it again sometime.
I would love that. Next league, I guess.
Yeah, it is almost next league.
Always. But yeah, I got 3 golds. I got a Thebes, a Meyer golden donut, and I golded Ganon. I didn't realize I golded Ganon. I thought it was really bad, actually. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice. All right. I actually have to go. I have some real life stuff I have to take care of. But thank you so much, restreamers. Thank you so much, Rob, for comms. I can't wait to watch this from back. Rob comms are some of my favorites.
All right, no worries. Thanks for joining us.
And happy lead, everyone.
Happy League. We actually have another race coming up for the NMG League on this channel. Next up, let me just double check to make sure I don't give you the wrong info. It's going to be Relkin versus Flip. So stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and send a raid out to ZSR1 so they can set up here for the next race. Thank you guys for watching. GG runners. Thank you for comms. We'll see you next time.
No worries. Always happy to do it.
Thank you, guys.